Lucy Dacus and Phoebe Bridgers were just there 2 months ago to shoot her big new single, and I think it has like over 300,000 views on YouTube, which is amazing. And that actually brings the resort to a bunch of people that maybe wouldn't have seen it before. Joe Firestone, who is a comedian in New York, she just in September shot a short movie called Couples Retreat, and she premiered it at Tribeca Film Festival. It got second place.
And it was shot where again?
It was shot at Pocono Palace.
Crazy.
Do you know the song on TikTok, Carrying Your Love With Me? It was really famous.
Go ahead and hit it. Give me a couple bars.
I'm carrying your love with me. West Virginia out to Tennessee.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, got it.
I used that song in a TikTok, and the artist reached out to me, and they actually spent, him and his fiance, David Morris and Miranda Harrison, just spent their Valentine's Day at Pocono Palace.
All through the magic of social
crazy.
media. And I have to say, too, from people who do social media every day, I look at your stuff and I'm like, this girl's good. Hey, friends. It's the Ryan Leckey Show. Welcome to the Ryan Leckey Show. What is going on, peeps? All right, so glad you're back. I'm not going to bury the lead. We're going to get right to it. If you've been in love, looking for love, just looking for a hot spot to visit with your friends, we're really pulling back the curtain on one of America's most popular honeymoon destinations. Literally, one of the most popular in America. It's in the Poconos. Oh, yeah. And the one and only to help us kind of dive into all of this, Lindsay Williams. She's the marketing manager of
Cove Pocono Resorts.
Yeah, and here's the thing. For decades and decades, the Poconos, specifically Cove Pocono Resorts, right? You got Cove Haven and a few other properties, literally has been legendary in America for people to take their honeymoon. But things are changing. Yeah, right. And we want to pull back the curtain and dive into this, because I think what was amazing, how you and I connected, right? I'm looking at social media. I follow you guys on social media. I'm like, this is some cool stuff, because there is a stigma. I'm not going to bury the lead. Oh, this is just a place now where the 70 and the 80-year-old people go. But you guys are revamping it to target a new demo. And if you haven't heard of Cove Pocono Resorts, right? So the Poconos in general of Pennsylvania, known as like the hottest honeymoon destination. Mm-hmm. You guys are like a cruise ship on land. Yep. I've also heard some people, including some on my team, describe that area as sort of the Las Vegas of Pennsylvania.
I like that. I like that. It's a lot of entertainment, a lot of fun stuff, so much fun in the land of love.
In the land of love. And we're going to dive into this. And if you're like, wow, I feel like I've heard of Cove Pocono Resorts or Cove Haven, like one of your properties, all the properties, they are known for the famous champagne tubs, right? The heart-shaped beds. Again, this is why people go there for their honeymoon. Yes. And they even have swimming pools in some of the suites.
In the suites. You can have your own personal swimming pool. Yeah. It's amazing.
I'm going to be coming to try that. I remember, by the way, so when I worked in television, right, eons ago, right, I remember for Valentine's Day was the first time I ever went to, I think it was Cove Haven. Okay. And I saw the heart-shaped bed, and I saw the champagne tub, the tub that people can get in, and it's insane. And then I also remember, do they still have mirrors on the ceiling above the heart-shaped beds?
Above the bed, above the tubs. It's so cute. Even the champagne tower has a little like starlight ceiling above it. Super kitschy.
So we have questions to unpack that people have also sent me, like, okay, it still looks like it's from, I don't know, the 80s, 70s.
It does
What's
have
been
a kitschy
updated?
Vibe.
A what vibe?
A kitschy vibe.
Oh,
kind of like,
I love that.
Unique, kind of a little bit vintage nostalgia
but
from the
you
past.
Can't get rid of the champagne tubs, because that's what put that area on the map in America.
Yes. Right?
Like and brochures and everything else. So first of all, Lindsay Williams, marketing manager at Cove Pocono Resorts. I want to just go into you getting to this legendary resort, the land of love, because now it's your job to kind of tell the story, but more importantly, to show people, especially the younger demographic. Definitely. You guys are doing some really cool stuff there people don't know about.
Yes.
How'd you get here?
I've been with Cove Pocono Resorts about a year. I started in August last year, and I just recently moved to Hawley, Pennsylvania. And Hawley is right near Cove Haven, which is in Lakeville. Mm-hmm. And they were looking for a marketing manager, someone to work on social media. And it just really, I loved it. And I went out on a limb and got the job, and I've had so much fun working there the last year.
Right, and kudos to you, as I said, and this is how you and I connected. I reached out to you on Instagram, and I was looking at the reels and the content you were cutting, and go, this place looks totally different even since when I've been there, like for a live shot morning television, right? Like 12, 13 years ago. You've done some upgrades, but of course you kept the key things that put the Poconos on the map. So tell me though, like, I don't know, like what your goals are, what the struggles you're facing, trying to attract a younger demographic, and the cool things you have happening, because I think for anybody in Pennsylvania, for anybody who've heard of the Poconos looking for a trip, you guys have literally revamped it where you are definitely hitting a younger demographic and bringing the stuff in that they want to see.
Each one of the resorts is on a lake. So Cove Haven is right on Lake Wallenpaupack, and the deck out there is beautiful. That we redid bunches of the rooms, like the Garden of Eden Apple. That's one of my favorite suites. It's all redone inside, all new bathrooms, shower. It has the rain,
I get it. I get it.
Like shower
the
head.
rain shower.
Oh,
yeah.
It's so nice.
I'm already thinking of that. I'm like, it sounds like a soothing place. Now, some of those rooms, the biggest question that I think people wanted to tackle that they knew I was interviewing you is the fact of I'm going to say it. It's like tackiness deluxe is what a lot of people remember about these honeymoon suites in the Poconos. Tackiness deluxe because it was like the same vibe, the heart-shaped bed that had the same look forever. Hopefully they changed the bedspreads. And the champagne glasses, but like this weird-looking red carpet on the ground and other stuff. So like it wasn't updated for a really long time. So what has changed and what stayed the same to keep this iconic brand alive?
The champagne towers have been renovated. So they used to be like a clear at the top, and now they're pink with a white stem, and they have mirrors around the bottom. So it gives the illusion that the tub is just floating there. It's really cool. So that's all redone, and all the carpets have been updated. The only one that still has that like old school vibe is the Roman Tower at Pocono Palace, and that one still has the clear tub. But once you're in the tub, it overlooks the heart-shaped pool in the room, and that is pretty amazing.
Yeah, because not a lot of hotels anywhere literally have small swimming pools inside the room, not outside,
for your
inside.
own personal use. Yeah, it's amazing. And even inside the pool room is a massage room and a sauna.
Wow.
So the whole room is usually 3 floors. There's so much to do. You can even just spend your time in the room, like exploring.
Be honest, for you walking in there, right? You've been there a year now, but you knew of this place. I mean, it's iconic, the land of love, right? Poconos, Pennsylvania. What went through your head when you finally saw the champagne tubs, the heart-shaped bed, and the mirrors on the ceiling?
Yes. I can remember in the 90s seeing commercials to come out here. I'm from New Jersey, and I can remember being like, man, one day I hope I get to see one of these crazy rooms. And just walking in and seeing a 7-foot tall champagne glass that you can actually get in is pretty amazing. And like the high ceilings, it's just so cool to have your own personal swimming pool, your own personal hot tub, and then a separate bedroom. It's really neat.
And I think we want to stress for the people out there, right, who aren't going on their honeymoon. Have you seen people book these for like, I don't know, whether it's bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, like, I don't know. Tell me about that.
There was actually just a wedding at Pocono Palace, and they had an Elvis impersonator, and the whole wedding party stayed on the property in different rooms so they can get like the whole vibe of the whole resort. It's really cute. You can rent a little golf cart and drive around the resort and see everything. So it does still have that like kitschy 90s retro vibe, but then you walk into the room and you're just like, oh my gosh, this place is amazing. It's really cool.
And let's talk about what you've done sort of and the team you work with on the back end to say, hey, we want people to come here for concerts, for comedians or hypnotists to watch, like all sorts of cool shows. How are you trying to take this to the next level so people don't think like, oh, that's your grandma's resort?
Right. I mean, COVID changed a lot of things with headline entertainment. So, I mean, right before COVID, I believe we had Howie Mandel come and a lot of acts like that, which was cool. And so now we've been working really hard with our entertainment manager, and we have an illusionist coming this weekend. Last weekend, there was a Heart tribute band. The 1910 Fruit Gum Company, they're like a bubblegum rock band from the 60s. Chris Kattan from Saturday Night Live is coming. There's all kinds of headline acts, but every night, like every single day of the week, there's a comedian or a band or a local musician, and that's open to the public. It's free to come. It's free to guests. It's free to people that maybe just want to spice up date night and come and hang out. There's game rooms. So each of the game rooms at the properties have been updated. And
Tell me about the game rooms. Are we talking about axe throwing there? Like, what do we got?
Yes, there's axe throwing, jumbo Jenga, cornhole, but then there's also duck pin bowling, and at Pocono Palace there's shuffleboard, and at Cove Haven you could do ladder ball or ride a bike around Lake Wallenpaupack. It's really, there's always something to do.
This sounds like a great staycation, especially with the renovations that have happened.
Yes.
And I think the interesting thing, so even though like we jokingly said tackiness deluxe, right? It's not like it used to be, but I think like you still kept a lot of the nostalgic part of this honeymoon destination in the Poconos like the same.
Yeah, and it's not just for honeymoons anymore. We're trying to reach out and just do a time when you want to rekindle with your partner. You want to take a couple days away from civilization and get away from the kids. It's adults only, so there's no kids anywhere, and there's a big heart-shaped pool that you could relax in outside, and you could go fishing on the lake, or you could do rowboating and paddle boarding. There's so much to do inside and outside, but it's still, you get that kind of kitschy vibe from outside. There are like little selfie stations in front of the sign that says the Land of Love. You can get a little picture there, and that's kind of an iconic little vibe.
And when we think of Cove Pocono Resorts, under that umbrella, there's 3 properties. Can you give me the history when some of these started?
Definitely. Cove Haven opened in 1958, and that's amazing that it's alive and thriving. And there are even people, there were last weekend, they had been there for 50 years. They got married at Cove Haven, and now on their 50th wedding anniversary, they're back to see what everything is like. And Paradise Stream is in Mount Pocono.
So that's another property.
That's another one. And then Pocono Palace is celebrating their 60th anniversary this year, and that one is in East Stroudsburg.
So it's really depending on what you want to do, the entertainment you want to see, and there's food on some of the resorts, right?
Yes.
And the easiest way, because in case people are like, okay, I can't listen to the whole thing, like you just go to what website to find out?
CovePoconoResorts.com.
Yeah.
Or you can follow us on social media at Pocono Romance. And you can connect via social media, or you can call if you're still
So if you're still doing that, if you're listening to a podcast or watching, I'm sure you could find it online. I think I was impressed because after I stalked your social media and I first reached out to you, then I looked at the website and I was like, oh my gosh, look at all the acts coming here that you would never think about, because a lot of people, even some people on my team, are like, isn't that where the grandmas go? Like, the game is changing, and you do have a lot of stuff for a younger demographic, really for all ages now. Yeah,
actually, we've been doing a lot of music videos.
We should say people are coming there to shoot their music videos. Wait, let's unpack that.
Lucy Dacus and Phoebe Bridgers were just there 2 months ago to shoot her big new single, and I think it has like over 300,000 views on YouTube, which is amazing, and that actually brings the resort to a bunch of people that maybe wouldn't have seen it before. Joe Firestone, who is a comedian in New York, she just in September shot a short movie called Couples Retreat, and she premiered it at Tribeca Film Festival. It got second place.
And it was shot where again?
It was shot at Pocono Palace.
Crazy.
Do you know the song on TikTok, "Carrying Your Love with Me"? It was really famous.
Go ahead and hit it. Give me a couple bars.
I'm carrying your love with me. West Virginia out to Tennessee.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, got it.
I used that song in a TikTok, and the artist reached out to me, and they actually him and his fiance, David Morris and Miranda Harrison, just spent their Valentine's Day at Pocono Palace.
All through the magic of social
crazy.
media. And I have to say, too, from people who do social media every day, I look at your stuff and I'm like, this girl's good.
Oh, thank you.
Because I saw it, and that's why I was like, wow, this doesn't look like old school.
I try and get like a more personal vibe, like a behind the scenes. You'll see what it's like in the rooms, and you'll see what it's like in the lounge or in the bar, have the bartender make a drink. And that way you can kind of experience it before you arrive, so you can see what exactly you're getting into.
What do you think are some of the biggest things facing the hospitality industry today? Or, you know, like right now, the challenge at your place or other spots?
It's tricky because after COVID, people kind of wanted to stay home. They wanted to stay close, not spend a bunch of money. And now people are venturing out and doing weekend getaways, just mom and dad getting away for the weekend and just kind of exploring a little bit more. And we're only 2 hours from New York, so it's an easy getaway. So I think hospitality, we're trying to get people reinvigorated, revisiting different places. And we work really closely with the PMVB, the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau.
Yeah, great team. I know them. Yeah,
we try and reach out with them. We have them to the resorts to take pictures and share our stuff with them. So, because they reach different people that are maybe never been to the Poconos. So it reaches different avenues of people that could potentially be guests.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, living here, when you live in northeastern Pennsylvania, like the Poconos, people are like, yeah, the Poconos. When you tell people, like, in Florida or other spots, like, yeah, I'm from this area, but it's kind of close to the Pocono. Everybody knows it, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I guess any, like, crazy other stories besides music videos being shot, there are other guests coming in, or, like, anyone flew in from across the globe just to experience this?
This weekend, or is it next weekend? We have Amber Conklin, and she's dating Britney Spears' brother. They're coming to visit for they just got engaged.
I love that you know all the tea, by the way. And we should point out, no matter what day this podcast drops, to keep up to date, go to your website, because you might be talking about a show or an event and people are like, wait, it already passed. But I love that you're giving us the tea. And the funny thing is, with you knowing all these reality stars and celebrities, you were actually born and raised
at the Jersey Shore,
like in New Jersey, right? Not to be confused with the one, I believe, in Lycoming County of Pennsylvania, Jersey Shore. Because when you told me Jersey Shore, people from the Jersey Shore in Pennsylvania, they say it differently. They call it Jersey, right? And you're like, Jersey Shore. And then I literally was like, wait, is that the place where the Jersey Shore that aired on MTV was shot? And you said,
right near Seaside, New Jersey.
So you hung out with Snooki and the gang?
Yeah, she actually lived, I think she has a house now in Toms River, which is the general area where we're from. And that, even down there, people are like, oh, the Poconos, we have to get up there for skiing or for just like lake life for the weekend. Yeah. Because at the shore, it gets so busy. And just to get away somewhere where it's so beautiful. At Cove Haven, I know around here deer are very common now, but from New Jersey, we never had deer. And at Cove Haven, they'll eat right out of your hand.
So the deer's, who needs crazy. The champagne tubs when you got deer, right?
Yeah, they'll eat like right out of your hand. It's wild. I've never encountered anything like that.
All right, so I have to dive in and ask this question. You talked about the future of hospitality, how you guys are growing. You got to give me the inside tea, horror stories inside the industry. Like, have you guys ever walked back into a room and the guest left it and like everybody's like, oh my God, you got to come see this?
We did shoot. There was a music video in one of the Roman towers, and they used cake, and there was cake everywhere. So we had
somebody didn't get their security deposit back.
We had to get the carpet cleaners out and clean
cake everywhere. So they shot a music video and they were just throwing cake around.
That was their CG8 is the name of the band, and like I guess the intention was kind of like messy against something beautiful, kind of. But there was cake all over the floor, all over the Champagne Tower. But really, the team members are amazing, and some of them have worked there 20 years. Just like they really are very passionate about the resort, so they take the most care. Like if there's a snowstorm, the team members are going to stay at the resort so that they make sure that the housekeeping people are there, that maintenance is there, so everybody is really all hands on deck and making sure that everyone's experience is like the best. When they're in the land of love, we don't want them to be thinking about, oh man, now I have to, this isn't clean or this needs to be done. We have the maintenance, the front desk, the general managers, they work so hard to try and make sure that your experience is amazing.
So coming back to horror stories in the hospitality industry and the land of love, I have to ask you, because people brought this up to me. When you think of, do you know where I'm going with this? The honeymoon suites, the stories, and now in the day and age where literally everybody's a content creator on OnlyFans. Are you worried like that people are coming? Because think about it, you got these heart-shaped beds and mirrors all over the ceiling. Are you worried your support? Are you guys like, is this the place where the OnlyFans creators are coming?
I'm not sure.
Did you think I was going to say that?
I thought you might be headed in that direction. I'm not sure.
Because everyone's an artist, right? And they show their creativity. And look, I don't judge. You're on OnlyFans, like, and you're making coin. High five to you. But I'm just curious because literally if you step back and you look at, Cove Pocono Resorts and the champagne tubs and the heart-shaped beds and mirrors, I'm thinking like, somebody's going to cash in on this.
There have been.
You guys ever see anybody check in? You're like, they're totally here making videos.
It might be.
Okay. All right.
I know people do boudoir photography in there and like very beautiful. I know there was like some like lingerie photos because the background is so iconic and really there's not.
That's why I asked about OnlyFans because you have people, as I said, there are iconic signs, the iconic like somebody's taking advantage of this.
I even just did a Marc Jacobs. They have these like beautiful boots and stuff, and they did them in a heart-shaped tub with a mirror above it, and it was so cool. So like people just want to see that iconic stuff that they remember from the 90s.
In the day and age where everybody's a content creator, right? It does make for great visuals. The place in general, whether it's a still photo or something else. So we got that. I guess the last thing is, what do you want when we think younger crowd, right? Because you said it's in a place for adults to come to experience the comedy acts, etc. What age are we talking? Like, what's your target?
Well, it's 18 and over, but I think the main demographic is in like the 20s, 30s, 40s, kind of when you have a partner and you want to get away with them, you want to relax or, just spend some time alone, just working on your relationship, just focusing on romance, that kind of time away from the kids, like people like in their mid 30s who have a babysitter and want to get away for the weekend. That's always a good like demographic, but also people that are celebrating their 25th anniversaries, their 50th anniversaries. That's super important too. We have forever lovers, and those people are people that visit the resort, some of them 20, 30 times. And we have weekends that are dedicated just to like giving them a good experience. There's one in December and one in May. And they come and there's cocktail parties and special games. We just had one like a couple weeks ago in the beginning of May.
So these are like your regulars.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And they look for people like, I remember Dennis in the dining room. I want to make sure I see him. Yeah. And I remember CXO Billy. I really want to make sure I play a game with him this weekend. Like that kind of thing, just getting away and being like in love is like the main demographic that we're looking for.
Do you think anybody comes there to save their relationship?
I think so, because you can just get away and spend some time just in your room. Even you don't even have to leave the room, and you're just focusing on your relationship. Get a couples massage and just spend some time boating on the lake, spend some time fishing, just quality time.
And I mentioned to my partner, because I said after seeing your reels and stuff on Instagram, I was like, man, look at this place. It's been revamped. This would be fun to go. But we're big foodies, right? So we also love to eat, like, we might sit in the champagne tub, but we are there to like eat like we're going on the electric chair, right? Tell me about, because a lot of people, especially the younger demographic, foodies, we like great cocktails, we like great food. Tell me some of the things you guys offer when it relates to all the grub.
There's a dining room, a beautiful dining room. Pocono Palace dining room is my favorite. It overlooks Echo Lake, so you could have your breakfast and overlook the lake. It's beautiful. But there's a dinner menu. They just did a new one for the summertime, and the chef, he goes through and he chooses different steak, or if he wants to do a new lobster dish or a new prime rib, I believe they have. Those things, they try and revamp it every couple of months to keep people interested. Because if you come in May and in December, you want to see something different on the menu. And the drink menus are amazing. There's a margarita flight where you get to try each different type of margarita, and a mimosa flight. That's my favorite.
I'm going to sign up for both of those.
I know.
Do you guys do any like crazy brunches on Sunday?
Not really like brunch. It's more of like a structured breakfast. So it goes from like 8 to 10.
Got it.
And you eat in the dining room. And then from there, you can go to a game. You can go, now it's warm enough, you can go to the outside pool, or you could just go back to your room and hang out until lunch.
I think what's really cool is you mentioned, though, so obviously you can come there, make a weekend out of it, stay there, eat there, play there. Yeah. But for people just saying, on Thursday nights, my significant other and I, we love date night, et cetera, some of the weekdays. But you can come, I guess, just explain a little bit more, the free stuff.
Yeah, you can come just if you don't have a reservation, you can come. You can have a dinner, see the shows. The Illusionist this weekend, you can come and just see his show and have dinner and play in the game room or go visit the indoor pool, the outdoor pool. So you can definitely just make a night out of it if you just want to. My favorite slogan that I did for one of the marquees is just upgrade your date night. So it's just a little upgrade, you know, instead of going to a regular restaurant, you go to this interesting restaurant where you can have a live musician while you eat and then see a comedian after.
And then hit axe throwing and then bowling and everything else.
There's so much.
It's like a one-stop shop.
Yeah, so much to do. Even if you just...
It's like an adult playground.
It is. It is. Just if you want to hang out for the night, there's tons of stuff to do.
And Lindsay, the last thing when we think of where you're heading in the future, is there anything or little teasers you can give us to be like, you got to stay tuned to our website for the fall or some type of month because we're going to be dropping a really big deck or a big act or something you're not going to want to miss?
In the summertime, we're going to have concerts outside at
And
Cove
are those
Haven.
free?
Yes.
Wow.
They're free to you and me if we just wanted to go visit.
Okay.
They're free to guests. The month of love, February, is always a big time.
Are you booked already?
Sometimes they book up months in advance. They hide things around the property. They hide a diamond bracelet and a diamond necklace, and you go on a scavenger hunt. And if you find it, you win. You get to win that diamond necklace.
Win in some bling.
Yeah, and that's always our favorite time of the year is Valentine's.
And as someone who's been sort of a transplant to this area, right? Growing up at the Jersey Shore, New Jersey, right? And then coming here and working for this really nostalgic, iconic honeymoon destination in America, the Poconos, right? And then Cove Pocono Resorts. Is there anything that has really just blew your mind besides going there and finally seeing the place that you saw in the 90s that was on television, right? The commercials? Anything else that you're like, wow? I
just love how the people that work there are so invested in the love. Like they really want to make sure that everyone is having the best time. And that is like, that's so special because when you go to work, you want to make sure that you're having a good time and then they're having such a good time that it transfers on to the guests. I love that. And I love they have CXO's Chief Excitement Officers.
And what does CXO mean? What's this?
That a Chief Excitement Officer.
Oh, the Chief Excitement Officer. Got it. Okay.
They run around. They play games with the guests. They give out prizes.
You're like a cruise ship party person. That'd be like my gig. If I wasn't doing this, I'd want to be the hype man.
Yeah, that's exactly
Can
what
I
they are.
moonlight and do that? Like when this person's off, if you need somebody for part-time?
That's a great idea.
I'll come down there and like hype up the pool party and all that.
Yeah, they do like the newlywed game, things like that.
Yeah.
It's always just a party, which is so fun when you're going to work. You know, it's not like a regular hotel. It's like an explosion of happiness.
It's the land of love.
It is.
All right. Hey, so cool to hang out. Anything else you want to add before we jump out?
I just want everyone to give it a try and not be afraid of being a little kitschy for the weekend.
I love that. I like kitschy.
Yeah.
I love how you say that. Like, it's like sort of though taking something, it's like everything that is old is new again. And you've refreshed it, but you kept that iconic vibe that when you tell people in other states, oh yeah, I live near the Poconos or whatever. And there's so many people who have a connection to that or who are, oh, my parents went there or whatever.
For sure.
Those champagne tubs, they're still there.
They're still there.
Still popping.
So still popping for sure.
All right. Lindsay Williams, the marketing manager, Cove Pocono Resorts. I'm so glad we got to chat. I'm going to keep stalking your Instagram because I love seeing the land of love on the IG and everywhere else.
Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you. And thank you for checking out another episode of The Ryan Leckey Show. Catch you soon.